Hello everyone, welcome to this video tutorial. In this video we're going to be looking at creating some of the elements, namely MediaElement and Graphics View in the C# side. In class we did demonstrations where we created these objects on the XAML side, as you can see here. We've got our media page where two of our media elements are created in XAML. So we're just going to make some modifications to the page that will allow these elements to be created on the C# side instead. Now, the app should work the same way, it's just a different way of creating the elements. So I'm going to stop our app, and we'll just comment out the media element tags so that they are no longer defined in our page. I'm also going to remove the horizontal stack layout that has these two buttons. So we had on the screen two buttons underneath the video that were just small ways to control the video that was playing. So we had a play and pause button, as well as a reset button that skipped the playback back to position 0 in the duration of that video. So we're not going to need these either. We can just comment them all out. I am going to leave this label here because that doesn't have anything to do with MediaElement, but of course you could create the label in the C# background as well. So I've opened up the code file for this application, and in the code behind you can see we've got some errors due to missing elements that I just deleted from the XAML side. So we're going to have to recreate these elements. This one was the video, and then our sound player, as well as our buttons that we were using to control the video player. So we're going to start by creating our media element in code. So we'll do media element, and you can see that we're going to need this using statement, communitytoolkit.maui.views. So just make sure that you get the using statement up here, whether it's auto-generated or you can just type it manually. So we're going to start off with the video one, media element, and then we can assign its properties. So if we go back to media page and look at some of the properties that we set, obviously name is already set when we do the assignment. We can set the source, the playback controls, autoplay, width request, and volume. So we'll start off with naming the source, MediaElement.source property. And when we're doing this from the C# side, we don't use that embed shortcut. Instead, what we're going to do is call on media source class and use from resource. Now I want to point out the three options that go along with the three options that we could do on the XAML side. So from a URI, from a file on your file system, or from resource, which looks in the resources raw folder for the media that we're looking for. So we're going to say from resource. And when we use from resource, we just specify the path. In this case, stadium.mp4 is the path to our file. We're going to set the other properties as well. Media element should show playback controls was set to false, and autoplay was also set to false. And we had a width request that set the size of the video to 500. And finally, the volume. So we can set all of the same properties that we can set on the XAML side. Then once we're done, we need to add the media element into our page. So if we go back again to the page and look at where the media element is, it's inside this vertical stack layout. So inside our page, we want to be able to get to this vertical stack layout to add the value. We're just going to give this thing a name. And now we'll be able to add elements as part of the children collection of the vertical stack layout, is the name. It doesn't always catch up right away, the IntelliSense. But we can add our media element to that. So let's test it out. We'll make sure that the media element can show up. We'll have to go in and fix or comment out the rest of the errors before we're able to run this. Now, when we get this error, media element not existing, because I've defined it inside the constructor, instead we need to take that definition out and put it up here at class level. Now, as for the other ones, we're just going to comment those for now until we're needing them later on. Now that our app is loaded, we can see that the video is there the same way that it was before. We're still missing our buttons that allow us to interact with it, and we still won't be able to play the sound, but we're on our way there. So let's code up the rest of them. We had our media sound. I'm just going to bring this over to the other page so I can make sure to set the properties the same when we create it. We're going to have another media element called media sound. I'm going to declare that in here. And here's a reminder of the properties that I want to set. So we have is visible, set to false. We have the source coming from a resource. And we have the autoplay set to false. There we go. So we've got all those properties the same, and we're going to add our sound to the layout as well. That are commented out will still work. And finally, we'll have to create this button as well. So BTN play pause is the next thing that we're going to create. Define it at class level. Create it here. And set the properties. Again, I'm going to go back, look at the buttons that we commented out, and set the properties the same. So each one has a clicked event and a text property. We have another button called reset. I'll make those at the same time. Set the text property to the word play. And the event handler. New event handler for me. I definitely want to reuse the one that's already there. BTN play pause clicked. So the one that was automatically generated, I'm just going to get rid of that. And make sure that we have the one that we want. Clicking on the button, changing it from playing to paused and back. Now for the reset button. And the event handler. And choose the one that's already there. We want to put those two buttons on the page. Now, if we go back, the two buttons together were grouped inside a horizontal stack layout, and that's what allowed them to be beside each other. Otherwise, they would have just been ordered vertically. So I'm going to recreate that horizontal stack layout piece as well. Put the buttons inside it, and then add the horizontal stack layout as a child of the vertical stack layout. You can see all of these elements are able to be created in C# as well. So I'm going to take my horizontal stack layout and add to the children BTN play pause. And BTN reset, and Then I'm going to put that horizontal stack layout inside the vertical layout. And I'm going to put it right below my video. The sound is added last. It's invisible anyway, so it won't take up any room on the screen. So we'll run the app again, make sure everything's working as expected, and then we'll wrap up. So here's my app. We can test it out. When I tap to play the sound, it still works. I can use the play and pause buttons to start and stop the video. I can use the reset button to bring it back to the start. The only thing I forgot was the horizontal options on this layout. We don't want the buttons to be on the left, we want them to be in the center. So I'm just going to go and modify that in my horizontal stack layout options. Unfortunately, when you're working on the C# side, we can't watch the hot reload. We have to stop and restart the code. So my horizontal stack layout, horizontal options can be set to center. So we're choosing from a list of layout options here. We want the center option. So now our buttons are centered underneath this video. And the next one, we're going to do a similar thing with the graphics view, where we're going to create all of the graphics view elements in code. But for this one, we're all finished up. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.